same attorneys that accept money from, say, the defendant father in a custody matter. They accept the money to represent him in a custody matter as a defendant, but they neglect to tell the father that they also serve with the court. They take their money, right, and then they buy beach houses and everything, and they have a better quality of life, and they might have a high standard quality of life. They continue things based on what their family priorities are, family vacations or whatever, moving it back so the defendant father's rights to see his kids aren't even acknowledged, and that's pushed further and further back while he took their money. And he neglects to tell them about the huge conflict of interest in terms of ethics, where he also makes the attorney also makes a few extra dollars by serving the court as a support master. They're the person who's going to mediate over what their child support agreement is. All right, so that's a definite conflict of interest, and that impacts families. And then if you dare point out if one of the families or the poor mother might be on welfare and have a legal aid attorney who is overwhelmed and is afraid to open his mouth about the mistakes that the DHS or the child welfare caseworkers are making, and she doesn't know that she can fire him. She doesn't know that she can tell the court by a fax that find out the judge's fax number and let the court know that he doesn't represent her anymore. He won't return her phone calls, and he won't speak up on her behalf in court and say something as obvious as they've actually changed our family surname based on a clerical error or misadministration or just neglect, just poor work ethic, And once something gets entered into these court dockets and databases, it's replicated so that adverse parties are being served at the wrong address, and people can't protect their rights, and it goes into you lost by the family loses their children and the ability to make empowering choices about the care, nurturing, and education of their children, keeping them safe, just because they didn't it looks on the record as though it was by default that you didn't show up, and it's designed to deplete your family's resources while you're giving all the money to the attorneys who are having lunch with the court administrators and going to dinner and announcing the births of their children in their various law school newsletters. They have a camaraderie that you're not a part of, and you can't expect them to really even care about your best interest. And any information that's being fed to those who are going to make the decision in family court, either a custody master or a judge, their decisions are completely unqualified because they don't have accurate information, if they have any information whatsoever, and they definitely don't have timely information. So in order to cover their behinds for unethical behavior, the attorneys and the court administrators, they just issue mandates where the wanted children are ripped into the care of Department of Human Services, where there are even more inept examples of caseworker malpractice. And the injuries are everything from rape, physical injuries, to emotional, mental abuse, deprivation, malnutrition, starvation, beatings, everything in homes where that apparently by whatever standards that they have are supposed to be more stable than the family that could have been healed if one or both parents could have just gotten a 28-day drug and alcohol treatment program, or they could have gotten some career transition services, welfare to work program, that they would have been self-sufficient and been able to keep their family together, as opposed to letting their family be the human sacrifices to protect the unsavory, unethical conducts and relationships that are now machines formed in a machine-like fashion and perpetrated perpetually. They're just on and on and on because they are unchallenged. No one is stepping up, no administrator is stepping up and pointing out the administrative checks and balances that are happening and these gears turning. And, that's what Higher Lyrics, a standard access mechanism, does. That's what we do. We document rights of ownership to original creative work product contributions, and there's nothing more valuable than the original creative work product contribution of a family, all right? That's going to affect all of us and all of our quality of lives as far as bringing superior work product contributions to market, okay? All right, I'm going to point out to you higherlyrics.org. Really go there, not just for information. You can still get on the home page. I have the downloaded 45-page Word document, Roxanne Grinage, respectfully suggested administrative solutions for successful implementation of U.S. economic recovery plans and budgets, published April 4, 2009. Managed service list sent to President Barack Obama's White House members, executive officers. Okay, we have that on the homepage. Everything that a standard access mechanism is, I'm not going to do my radio shows by reading anymore or anything like that. We need to just bring it down to layman's terms, brass tack terms, how families and fathers, mothers, children, grandparents, communities, mentoring groups need to recognize, take responsibility for the decision. If they make the decision to turn over authority over their well-being to a jurisdictional process, like jurisdiction is giving somebody authority over you, and when you say respectfully submitted to a court, that means you're saying to the court that I render what happens to me over to you, all right? So if you know that you're doing that, not unless you want to go the other way, like sovereign law and common law, and you really want to learn how to disavow any association with these machine-like processes, you're going to have to recognize how you are truly fighting a machine. Do away with the illusion that this machine somehow cares about you more than you care about yourself and is even qualified to make decisions about what happens to you, all right? And you need to learn and anticipate the actions of this machine. You need to know what's going on, why it's going on, so that you can anticipate 2 or 3 steps ahead, just like a chess game, what it's about to do to you next, so that you can defend against it or sidestep it, get the heck out of the way, and save your children. Okay? So this is going to be, I guess, another series, okay, on that focuses mainly on family court, child support, and child welfare from an administrative point of view. And I'm going to go back to one of my earlier shows, we're going to zoom in. I did a show earlier here on Blog Talk Radio, I think almost over a year ago, where we showed how the publicly searchable city government databases have so much information, forms, where you can learn the rules and you can learn the instructions to how you can represent yourself pro se in these family court matters. You don't need to pay attorneys a lot of money. The forms are there, and women on welfare, men on welfare, you can show your access card or your Medicaid card or whatever proves that you're on public assistance, and you can get these services free. And you are going to run up on the court clerks, and you're going to run up on the people behind the other side of the phone and say, oh, no, you can't, you have to get an attorney. But that's because they're in cahoots with the attorneys who are pushing the money through the mechanism. They want you to pay money to protect your life and your life of your children, and you don't have to. Information is powerful. I'm sure you've heard that many, many times, and that's what Higher Lyrics is about. We share information because we become empowered. We all become elevated if we all share information. It gives us choices. We want our children, if our children are killed or destroyed or ripped away from us as infants, babies, elementary school, adolescents, pubescent, teenagers, young adults, right? If they're nipped in the bud, one, they won't know who the heck they are. We won't even be able to pass their history on to them. They will have no clue of who they are. Once you don't know who you are, you're a victim. You're a target. You know, you're a perpetual victim. And they are destroyed or injured or damaged, so much so that their product contribution of education, of original creative work products, lyrics, performance, design, art, jewelry, engineering, technology, all of that is gone to us. We don't have it available to us as consumers, and all of our quality of life suffers.